What's going on, everybody? You're watching the PhoneArena video review of the iPhone XR. The actual successor to the 8 and 8 Plus is just one phone that tries to accommodate all iPhone users looking to upgrade this year to something with a more reasonable price. What makes the iPhone XR so exciting is that despite its lower price point, it still has almost everything the iPhone XS has to offer, and that's a lot. So where's the catch? While the iPhone XR's design is still very premium and likable, certain things give away its more affordable nature. For example, if you view the XR next to a XS, you might notice that the black bezel surrounding the display is slightly thicker. The nice and polished stainless steel frame that the XS has also has been replaced with a lighter and cheaper aluminum frame. The glass on the back is said to be not quite as durable, and the charging port is ever so slightly off-center. Even then, with these small compromises, the XR is an eye-catching phone, and it comes in that sweet spot size somewhere between the XS and the XS Max. Possibly the bigger deal about the XR's design is the remarkable range of colors it comes in. There are black, white, blue, yellow, coral, and product red. If you're someone who's mostly gotten used to black and white phones, like most of us, living with a colorful device takes a bit of getting used to. But we found our yellow XR to be quite a refreshing experience and a really nice change of pace. Many of our readers expressed concerns about the new 6.1-inch liquid retina display and its resolution. It's 828 by 1792 pixels, and yes, that's not even 1080p. But the display is great. Viewing it from a normal distance, there is still more than enough resolution, color accuracy is on point, and it's just a very high-quality IPS LCD screen, with good contrast, strong brightness output, and good viewing angles. Compared to the OLED displays in the iPhone X, XS and XS Max, this one is not quite as impressive. It doesn't have the perfect blacks or ultra-high resolution, but it's still a great thing to look at. And it's big, considerably bigger than the iPhone XS display, which is always a plus. The great thing about the iPhone XR is that it has all the features from the iPhone XS, from the true depth front camera with Face ID to portrait mode to the incredible A12 Bionic chipset. It supports every software feature that you can have on the more expensive iPhone XS and XS Max. And yes, that includes Memoji. The iPhone XR is an amazing phone to play games on. With that big screen and the fastest CPU and GPU available in any phone, games look and run perfectly. And it has so much power, it's basically future-proof for at least the next couple of years. The graphics processor in particular is up to 50% faster than the one in the iPhone X from last year. And that's also great for augmented reality. On the phone, you only get the Measure app, but developers are already finding ways to implement AR in games and other applications that are really fun. The 12-megapixel camera on the Apple iPhone XR is interesting. It's just a single camera, but it can do fancy stuff like smart HDR and portrait mode photography. This is basically the same camera from the XS and XS Max, only without the secondary zoom camera. Smart HDR is a new feature which uses the power of the more advanced image signal processor and the neural engine to achieve brighter yet balanced images. It has a really pronounced effect in dynamic scenes such as this one, where your subject might typically end up a bit dark because of the very bright background. But this new HDR feature manages to even things out through what is essentially taking more frames from the camera and doing a ton of operations behind the scenes. This is computational photography at its finest, and you can be certain that both Apple and Google and other companies are going to keep exploring that area. When it comes to portraits with those nicely blurred backgrounds, the iPhone XR can do that very well. The difference between it and the dual-camera iPhones is that the portrait photos don't have that fancy narrow field of view, but I would say they still look quite impressive when you get them right. Overall, the XR's 12-megapixel camera is great. There's a ton of detail in the photos, colors are very nice, albeit a bit warm at times, but on the whole you're basically getting one of the very best, if not the best camera in a phone with the XR. And that extends to video recording, where the footage is really nice, especially if you record at 4K and 60 frames per second, but even standard 1080p footage at 30 fps with cinematic video stabilization looks great, with no rolling shutter artifacts or other issues. The XR has amazing speakers for a phone. Even though the space inside phones is limited, Apple continues to make strides towards better audio quality, and it shows. There is a more pronounced stereo effect when listening to music, and audio on the whole is deep and powerful. And since Apple is using the earpiece as the left speaker, phone calls tend to sound quite good as well. The iPhone XR is quite the big phone, and that has its advantages. Probably the biggest of which is that Apple has been able to fit a pretty big battery inside of it. Our real-world experience with the phone has been very positive. It can easily last for up to 2 days of moderate use, just like the iPhone 8 Plus. This is confirmed by our custom battery test, where the iPhone XR lasted for about 11 hours, which is half an hour more than the iPhone 8 Plus. Once again, Apple is giving us a weak 5-watt charger in the box, which takes quite a while to charge the iPhone XR in its big battery. If possible, we recommend that you invest in something like the 12-watt iPad charger that can be found on Amazon for about $15. And that's going to be way faster to charge the iPhone XR. It supports even faster charging though, so if you want to use that, look for compatible power delivery chargers online that have an output of about 18 watts or more, which is about the maximum that the XR can receive. The iPhone XR is a very interesting new iPhone. It's obviously a terrific smartphone. It has a great display, best in industry performance and camera. Almost everything in it is no compromise. But is it a great iPhone? After using it for a while, I think the answer is yes. It's not as premium as the XS, XS or XS Max, but it's just too good to ignore. While Apple did have to make a tiny compromise here and there, the fact remains the iPhone XR is almost universally outstanding, be it in the design, the performance or the camera. There's also a ton of extra quality of life features supported, such as wireless charging, Face ID, portrait camera mode, portrait selfie mode, true tone display with wide color gamut, and the list goes on and on. So, with smartphone prices seemingly getting higher and higher, it's good to know that there's still a reasonably priced iPhone we can turn to. That's not to say that the $750 Apple is asking for the XR is not expensive, but when you consider the rest of the competition and the fact that the XR is so full-featured, it's just hard to say no. Hey, thanks for watching this video review. If you feel like watching more of our videos, just subscribe and head over to the PhoneArena YouTube channel. And for even more mobile tech content like news, articles, reviews, be sure to take a look at PhoneArena.com.